This is the talk of Music City Real Estate.
Welcome back to another episode of the Talk of Music City Real Estate,
where we educate and motivate all things real estate.
My name is Monte Moore with Realty One Group Music City.
Hey, and I'm Carey Ann with CMG Financial and my mortgage team.
Every week we'll be posting a new episode of chock full of Nashville real estate value.
Yes, and you can follow along and subscribe at thetalkmusiccity.com.
Got a question for us? Ask away at questions@talkmusiccity.com.
I've got a good question for you.
You got a good question?
Yes. So, what is the percentage of real estate agents that don't make it past their first year or second year?
Second year is 87% don't make it.
87%.
In other words, only 13% do. And we're going to talk to a young lady today that's only been licensed for a very short time, and she is blowing that possibility out of the water. I mean, absolutely blowing. But before we get into that, let's talk about our sponsor.
Yes, thank you so much to Music City Removal. They are the #1 junk removal service in Nashville. From residential, commercial, and construction, they're experts in ridding you of junk. Their costs include labor and dumping fees without any hidden or added expenses. Whether you need a full clean out or just one item removed, they have you covered.
The Music City Removal team knows the importance of respect and trust while in someone else's home. They understand the inconvenience of junk left behind by previous homeowners and tenants, and are determined to provide an affordable and customer-focused junk removal service that puts you first. For a free on-site estimate, just go to musiccityremoval.com. That's musiccityremoval.com.
Yes, Music City Removal, because clutter ain't cute.
No, but our guest today is a cutie pie. And I'm so happy to introduce Marbelin Curiel.
Yes, welcome, Marbelin.
Welcome to the Talk of Music City Real Estate. We're so glad to have you.
Thank you. It's such an honor to be here with the both of you. I just can't believe it.
Yes, well, we're honored to have you because, like we were saying, to have 87% of our local real estate community start this business and then get out, and to know that you are definitely moving and shaking out there. You've got passion and grit and determination, and you're really making a difference here locally. So I can't wait to get started and talk all about how you are approaching this business they call real estate.
And Marbelin, the reason I asked you to be on here is because there's so many new agents out there that are struggling, that are wondering, am I really called to this business? What is it going to take? Maybe they had great aspirations, and they're just a couple deals into it that's fallen apart, and it's just like they're realizing that, wow, this is way harder than I thought it was going to be, just way harder. I've been, so many times I think people have been watching Property Brothers or those kind of things and thinking all they got to do is go out and show a couple of homes and collect their $20,000 commission and that kind of stuff. It's way harder than that, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Absolutely. I first started doing my own FSBOs, and I remember getting bombarded by so many agents calling me 24/7, and it got to the point I would just ignore the phone.
Sure.
And I would say, I'm not going to answer that. And I had a aha moment, and I said, you know what? I'm going to change this, and I'm going to take this for my advantage. So I started doing role play with them without them knowing I was using them.
Oh my gosh,
yes.
yeah.
And
smart.
So
that's very cool.
I started talking to them, and I was like, I want to use this. I want to use that, and I didn't think that I was going to get into real estate. It was just, I liked the way they were talking to me, and they believed what they were saying. And I was like, you're not going to get me. This is the whole point of being a FSBO, right?
Sure.
So
this is ingenious, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
she
smart.
learned she learned some really key phrases from some practitioners out there that were trying to crack the FSBO mystery.
They were so sharp, and I was like, okay, you're not going to get me. Okay, so fast forward, eventually I moved from Florida to Tennessee.
Okay.
I've been in the medical field for a very long time. I also did sales in the medical field.
Sure.
So sales has always been a passion for me, strategizing, negotiating, knocking on doors, and just saying there's going to be someone in front of me. They're not going to want me there, but I'm going to get my objective.
Right.
I'm going for it. So so I started going to college for the second time around, and I was in nursing school in the nursing program. And so I told my husband, I said, this is not for me. It's just going in one ear, out the other.
Sure.
And he said, well, you're pretty good at selling. Why don't you just go into real estate? And I said, you know what? I'm going to do it.
Wow.
And that's where everything started.
Wonderful. Wow.
And from there on, I remember the way all of these agents were talking to me, trying to convince me, believe the messenger. And then I heard Monte say, believe the messenger. And I was like, aha, okay, let's go. I remember the first day I had an online lead and I met with them. I was so nervous, and I always had that little voice, believe the messenger. And so I remember he was talking to me. The client was saying, well, Marbelin, I was talking to another agent, and he said the name of the agent, and this is someone that I heard the name before, and I was like, wow, this is a well-seasoned agent. What am I going to do? You know, I never dismissed that person saying I lost them. Nope. I said, Marbelin, you're going to do this, and I just started talking to them. I explained to them the whole entire process, and they said to me, I want you to be my agent. And I said, holy moly, I can't believe it.
Yeah.
It was such a win for me. Why? Because I believe what I was seeing, and
Truly believed it. Right. Core.
Yes,
yeah, for
yes,
sure.
in my heart. And besides that, I mean, even before going out there, I always, I would read, I would YouTube, and I always wanted to know more. I was hungry for the knowledge, so before saying anything to anyone, I knew what I was saying. And literally everything my mentor would say to me, my broker, I would take it in and I would put it to practice. And
You were a sponge. You were just taking it. Yes. That's so good.
Speaking of mentors, you have an amazing mentor, don't you?
Oh, are you kidding me? She is amazing.
She's an amazing lady.
Yes.
We're so blessed to have her in our organization. Marbelin, I'll never forget the message that you had shared with Connie when you sat down with her first. I think you guys met first before I got to meet you. And the thing that so impressed her was when you talked with her, you made it really clear that failure was not an option with you. It was not an option with you. It wasn't going to happen because it was not an option with you. And I think you had made that declaration and convinced your own psyche that failure wasn't an option. So if failure is not an option, then really all you have to do is walk out success.
Great.
And that's what that's what I see in you, is continually walking out that success because people believe in you because you're believing in yourself.
Great. Absolutely. And failure is not an option. And I will say that again. When I first started this, yes, nursing was not for me. However, when I got into real estate, I knew this is a business and this is exactly how I have to treat it. I had to have a plan. I had to pay myself with my first commission. It's not all gains. I had my own strategy on how I was going to do this. This wasn't something that I said, oh, well, I just think I'm good at it. And no. This is a business. And if I believe in myself, I am going to invest in myself.
Love that. I mean,
so
they
important.
say such a big part of this business is the mind game, right? Is getting your mind on straight. Many of those people that are part of that 87% possibly, don't make it because they didn't start with getting their mind, set. And I love your strategy and your belief in yourself and looking at it as a business. I think that's the other piece too, is so many people try to wing it. If you approach it as a business, right? And you actually are running it as the CEO of your own business, amazing things, can take place. And as a business, there are layers, right? We have to create a foundation and we build off of that, right? And so it's amazing that, you've really been blessed by having that an amazing mentor, Joey, you know, because she is all about getting your mind ready, you know, and thinking positive. And that's a big part of it, you know, thinking positive, but also to have that grit and determination as a fierce female to say, oh no, I got this, you know, and that's so cool. That's one, so many females that are out there, you know, the more that we can put our shoulders back a little bit, you know, and stand a little taller, we can do anything we put our mind to. There's nothing that can stop us, right?
Absolutely. I mean, besides, I absolutely love Joey, you know, and I think determination, grit, you know, having also a solid foundation goes hand in hand. You know, and Joey has been there for me since day one. I will never be able to pay back everything that she's done for me. I mean, I am able to put food on my family's table every day due to everything she has taught me.
Yes, that's amazing.
And she has learned everything from Monte, and she always told me, every time I say, thank you, Joey, she says, no, I've learned everything from Monte.
Yeah.
And that's where you know that I am in the right place. You know, education is top notch. Why? Because everything is able to be duplicated and passed forward.
Yeah, and you're paying it forward, and you're going to do the same, you know, to someone else, which is going to be amazing. So when I got to meet you or hear about you, I'd love to tell this story because it really inspired me, and I think it'll inspire a lot of people. So when you got into the real estate business so long ago, you were working with one company initially. We won't say the name, but you were working with a company, and you were brand new to real estate, right? And so, and this is what happens to, I think, a lot of agents. They work with, you know, whatever company they choose to work with, and that particular broker says a couple things. So share that story, if you can, about how you're ready to rock and roll, and they said, you know, what to you?
Okay.
That was a good one.
Yes, I was with another company prior to Realty One, the greatest. So I remember walking in, and I had my flyers, and I said, I'm getting ready to mail out these mailers. And so here I am with my picture, and I'm super excited. And the broker looked at me with this face like, you're not even active. And I was like, okay, but aren't I supposed to do this? Doesn't everybody do this? And she was like, well, no, not yet. And I go, well, I'm hitting the road running. I mean, like, let's go. Is this okay? And so she was like, yes, it's fine. But she looked at me with a face like, well, what's wrong with this girl, you know? And I guess now we know what's wrong with this girl. I'm different.
Well, and different makes you amazing, right? And what I love about that is no one has the right to stop us or slow us down, right? If we're determined, we can definitely do anything, going back to putting our mind to it. And so a lot of people, even from a lender standpoint, they think they have to do this before they do that. And sometimes that is a good thing. But we definitely don't want to burst anybody's bubble or not get their excitement and that momentum going, because I think the hardest thing is confidence, right? And beginning that momentum cycle, right? I think those two things are huge. And if you already have that, and if there's other people out there that have it, and you're talking to a broker or a mentor that's trying to slow you down, step one, step two, you know, it is finding that person that sees the vision with you, you know. And I think as soon as you were able to connect with a broker that saw your excitement and your vision, and look what was able to happen in only 120 days. You're helping so many families.
Yeah, so to be clear, you've been licensed 4 months, something like that?
Yes.
And you've already sold 8 homes?
Yes, I have 8 homes sold. I have 3 listings, and I have 3 under contract.
Right.
That's incredible. So you really sold almost a dozen already your first 4 months in the business. That's incredible, Marbelin. I think you need to pause sometimes and give yourself credit. You know, it's really amazing because right out of the box, she started selling homes and closing on them. And typically, when an agent gets to that point right out of the box, you know, they kind of step back and, well, that was really cool, you know, and maybe ride on a little bit of that euphoria of getting a couple to the closing table. She didn't. She started wearing me out. What else can I do? Where can I go? What can I do? What else? I mean, she
was running that business like a business.
Because she was being fierce. I mean, that's what I love about her heart is she's being fierce and ferocious about this business. And see, to me, that's music to my heart, Marbelin, because I try to tell all the agents, momentum can be your friend or it can be your enemy. And unfortunately, so often people start building a little momentum. They think then they can go on vacation or go take a break or whatever. But they'll find sometimes when they come back from that vacation or that distraction that the momentum has left them. And now sometimes, it may take months and months and months to build it back up again. It's like getting that plane off the runway. You never see a pilot only put it half throttle and ever make it off the runway. They never get off the ground. They'll crash and burn before they do. You've got to pull back in those initial stages. I'll never forget my first year in business. I didn't even take a day off. My first year, because I was committed. Of course, I had 300 kids to feed, but I was committed because somehow I knew in my heart I had to develop some momentum. And once I got some momentum, because what people don't realize is part of that momentum requirement is there's going to be some percentage of fallout. I've learned over the years, if you don't have any fallout, you're not working hard enough. If you have too much fallout, you're doing too much selling, and they're not doing enough buying. Okay, so you're going to have some fallout if you're paying the price. But momentum, I refer to it as a fickle lover. That if you don't give it all the attention that she's due, or he's due, or it's due, it'll leave you, and it's sometimes hard to get back.
So let's talk about, again, new to the area too, right?
And that's what's amazing, I think.
And I'd love that because I think it's fierce over fear, right? You have to throw fear out the window. You're going to have to jump in the deep end. And you were excited about this opportunity. You made a determination that nursing was not, real estate was, and you were going to give it your all, right? And so you jump in the deep end. How do you, not knowing anybody in the area, how do you connect with people? What was for the folks that are maybe in your situation or excited maybe to join real estate? What were those steps that you took to make the connections as early as you did in your business?
Okay. So to contrary belief, whoever knows me, they will say, well, she's a high I.
Okay.
Okay. And I really am not. I am very shy. Okay. So I had a battle with that. But once again, I said, I will make this work for me. Okay. And I will get ready to get uncomfortable and grow. And that's exactly what I did. So I went out there and I realized at the beginning, if I'm at home in my own office, I'm not doing anything. I'm not being productive.
Sure.
I didn't know anyone here besides my immediate family. Mm-hmm. So I would get in my car and I would pass my business cards. I met with other vendors and I said, I bring value to you. If you bring value to me, we could work together.
Sure.
And that's exactly what I did. And one thing that I do, if I'm feeling comfortable today and I'm like, oh, I'm just cruising. No, get out there, do something. And
so be comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yes.
Is the key to that.
Yes,
I got it.
And go out there and show your face. Nobody's going to go to your house. You're not a major brand. You will be.
You will be. Look at that. She will be. Look at her. Love that confidence.
One of our cohorts is Jason Hoover, who we all love. And he wanted me to ask you one question. He couldn't be here today, but he wanted me to ask because he was excited about it. He actually was his idea that you come on. But he wanted me to ask this question. How important is the hustle?
It is extremely important. Without the hustle, there's absolutely nothing.
He teaches a very, very important mentor class every Wednesday here at the office. And he was sharing last week with the new agents that were attending that, look, I can provide a lot of tools, a lot of technology, a lot of training, but what I can't do is I can't bring the hustle.
Exactly.
And I know that's one of the things he respects so much about you, as we all do, Marbelin, that you brought the hustle.
Yes. So I would honestly say and he knows, when he calls me and he says, hey, Marbelin, I have this going on. Let's go. Let's do it. I will never hesitate. you know, because my priority right now as a new agent is my business. I have to grow my business. So if you ever call me and say, I have a referral for you, I will not hesitate and I will jump on it.
Sure.
You know, and yes, as a brand new agent, you just have to go, 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 go. Eventually, you will have referrals coming in. You will have listings. And maybe you can relax just a teeny bit, you know, just a teeny bit.
Oh, your time to relax is coming. But I just want to make sure that everybody hears the importance of that's not on the front end. That's after you've earned the right for, and you've got the right attitude already out of the box, taking 3 listings, because that's where leverage in the business really comes from. You know, so often we get started with the buyer side of things, and that's awesome. I love working with buyers, but the true leverage comes with taking listings so that you take a day off and you're still working because those listings are being shown. A lot of folks are not mindful of the importance of listing. To list is to last in this industry.
Yeah. And I think that's something else. As a new agent, whatever my brokers say to me or my mentor, I am going to take it in.
Coachable, love that.
Yes, and I will do it. You know, now, does everything work for me? No, I'm my own person, you know, and if it didn't, then I won't do it, or I will tweak it.
For you,
know?
yeah.
Yes. But I always put every single thing to work. They said, get a listing, go out there. I text Monte and I said, I got my first listing, you know? So I do whatever they tell me to do because they've been in the business for so many years.
Sure.
You know? And they know what works.
So I guess the people out there would say, how did you get that listing?
Okay, so that listing was actually from a referral. Okay. My clients, I dedicate so much time to them. They are my priority. And so I create everlasting relationships with them, to the point that they feel like they're my only client. Okay. And so whenever we get to the closing table, they say, well, Marbelin, what are you going to do now that you're not going to talk to me or you're not going to, and I'm like, well, we're going to stay in contact. But besides that, how many clients do you think I currently have? Just me? And I'm like, no, I have so many more. And so that right there, they're like, wow, she made me her priority. I am going to refer someone to that girl.
So it takes just one.
Just one.
Just one. And you started your brand on that one.
On that one.
Right. And that was what's super important. And some people don't really, I think they hear about the training on branding and personal brand and the importance of it. And they don't know how really that can make an effect in your business, you know, how it can elevate your business, right? Just by you branding that you wanted to give that solid relationship that they felt like they were the only priority, you know, and if you continue to do that, that's a great brand.
That is so huge, Marbelin.
That is wonderful.
That is so huge because people do want to know that they're the most important client that you have, and they don't want to hear about how busy you are and all those kind of things. They want to know that that they are the most important person that you are dealing with. I think that's the greatest compliment that I ever get paid from any client. And that is you made me feel like I was your only client. I think that's really important. And to have embraced that psychologically already yourself, that's huge. It's really huge. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's a huge win. And to have that confidence, that grit, that determination to continue, you know, because again, you're building a business, right?
Yes.
And you have to reinvest too. I think that's super important in not only yourself, but in your business, right? So when you talked about paying yourself your commission, you know, you made the determination. Some people take the money and run, right?
Yes.
And then they forget that it costs a lot to run a business in general, right? So that's really, you know, really important. So share a couple of maybe some of your, and I know you're fierce and fearless, but, you know, some things that other people may be going through right now that, you know, have been some hurdles over the last, you know, short period of time that you have been able to overcome. You know, are there some things initially that you were worried about and then you got there and you're like, okay, I'm at that crossroads. And how did you have the, you know, the confidence to push through, or, you know, is there something that has crossed your path recently?
Well, before you answer that, I do want to remind everybody, of course, that this is September something, first part of September, and the only period of time you've been licensed has been basically through the COVID thing, right?
Yes. Yes.
So you got involved in this business at a really weird time, and still, you didn't take, that weirdness. It wasn't a reason to not succeed, and you remained fierce, if not more fierce. I'm sorry. Go ahead and answer the question.
And that could have been where you signed right before, and then this was thrown at you, right? So how does anybody handle any obstacles in their path when they're starting out in real estate?
Okay, so when I first started, COVID hit. Okay. And I was like, wow, is this a telltale sign? Oh my God.
Right.
Is it going to work for me? And I got depressed. I did. And I remember just crying, and I was like, oh my God, I invested so much money. I wasn't working at the time. And Monte called me and he said, hey, superstar. And he's like, I just want to let you know, I know we're going through tough, difficult times, but we're here for you. And that was a pick-me-up, and it was a pick-me-up. I was still depressed, though. And I was like, I don't know. And part of me is like, this person really believes in me. I can't let him down. My family believes in me. I can't let them down. But once again, as a new agent, you don't have money coming in.
Sure.
And it's very tough. So I remember getting on the phone with Will Leach, and he's also an agent here. And
he's got the best hair.
Yes, his curls. So I said, hey, Will, can you please share your story with me? I'm struggling right now.
Yeah.
And he said, absolutely, Marbelin. And he explained how his first year he only sold 2. And he's like, you need to realize you're starting at a tough time.
Sure.
No one has gone through this except for the people who are going through it right now.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? He's right. I could do this. You know what? It's time to become a chameleon. Let me switch this up. Let me go out there. And that's where my brain, my train of thought just started changing and just going and making this situation work for me.
So it was really, because you're right, the battle we have so much in this business is between the ears, they say, right?
Yes.
And so, getting our mind on straight. And it takes sometimes hearing other stories and being inspired and being encouraged,
yes.
And having a great support staff, by your side.
That's why I wanted you on here, Marbelin, because other people that are, they're listening right now, new to the business, are struggling, and it does start here. That's why on this morning's huddle call, I shared my story, of almost losing it all at it, when the Great Depression, so forth, and building yourself up with the self-confidence formula that I shared this morning. It's so important, because we've got to win this battle. If we will win this battle, and part of that, I think, is listening to other people's stories, like this right here. I'll never forget when I was in Florida, and I'd heard about this amazing lady by the name of Gloria. I won't mention her last name, but she was the condo queen, okay? She was the absolute condo queen. Nobody listed a condo in Cocoa Beach, Florida, except Gloria. And so back then, you had to go to the office, pick up the keys, and then go show it, and then bring back the keys. There was no such thing as a lockbox before, okay? And of course, we had to walk uphill in the snow every day as well. But no, besides in Florida. No, but seriously, I'll never forget going to her office and saying, I want to show one of her condos, and she took me back into her office, and on her desk was this massive pile of stuff, okay? About one corner of the desk, she brought out from underneath the desk this old tomato paste gallon can,
Okay.
And on that clear spot, she turned that can over, and in that was a big wad of keys, and she said to this new agent, me, wondering, and I'm like, this is Gloria. And she goes, it's in there somewhere. And she starts, pulling through the keys and trying to find the label on it, saying it was that condo. And I'll never forget walking out of that office of hers and saying, if she can do this, I can do this, And that's what I want the agents to realize here is, if this old guy can do this, I can do this. If this brand new agent can do this, I know I can do this. Because that's what it took. It took Will a moment of sharing with you, look, let's feel the pain. But let's give ourselves that 5 minutes that Hal Elrod talks about, feeling the pain, feeling the disappointment, whatever it is. Give yourself that 5 minutes, but that's it. Now shake it off, and now let's move forward. Move forward with the determination and the fierceness and the attitude that failure is not an option.
Yes.
I love that about you.
Thank you so much. And, you know, also, I've noticed in the real estate community, a lot of people just keep to themselves, you know, and that's something maybe different about me. I will talk to any other real estate agent, you know, and I mean, Will, I met him, you know, and I started talking to him, and I was
Is
like...
that how you found us?
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Thank you, Will.
Yes, thank you, Will. So he shared with me. I went ahead and I opened up to Joey as well, you know, and one thing that I did learn, never to look at somebody else's success and say, I'm jealous, I want that. No, you have your own path in life. You have your own journey.
Sure.
You know? So I always said, wow, these people are successful. I want to be around like-minded people.
So good. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what I took from it. Not, wow, I want to be that. No, they have their own story. I have my own story. But I will definitely learn from them.
Absolutely. I love that. And what else you do such a great job at doing is the executing piece. You know, one of my success stories is how quickly can you start to execute on it? You know, we can think about it and we take all of this knowledge, right? And it's great when it's in this big book, but if we don't execute on anything, right? If we don't choose to put one foot forward or jump in that deep end and or take risks. In this business, we take a lot of risks, right? We spend some money, we lose some money, we gain some money, you know, there's multiple different things, but being able to execute on all the things that you have learned, and it works, great. It doesn't work. Okay, we won't do that. We learn from our lessons, right? We have the success stories. I think that's another piece too for the folks that are out there, by just putting one foot in front of the other and just taking that risk and jumping and taking one idea, try one idea a day. You know, I love a coach that taught me about do 3 money-making activities a day. Like I have to do just 3, even me today, right? What I can do. And there's so many ideas, you know, that, and you probably have a long list. And I love that many of those have been very successful for you because you can see that in your numbers and you're making a difference in the community, and that's wonderful. And you're tracking to help so many families, you know, you're this year in the business. And I think that is wonderful. It does not matter how many years. You've had many years, right?
More than you guys have been on the planet.
We didn't say the number. We just said many, you know, and I'm going on 20 years, right? But you wouldn't know that either.
No.
They're running, right? However, I will
thought you had
tell
to be
you,
18 before you could do that, you know?
I will say that I learned something new every single day. Like today, before coming in here, I learned something new, right? And it's bettering and it's strengthening my business, right? And so that's one thing that's so cool. It doesn't matter if you're 1 year, 2 year, 5 year, 20 years. Plus
36 years.
Okay. You know, you can definitely make a difference in your business, you know, and that's the thing about real estate is, yes, we use the basics. At the end of the day, it's just the same old things that we use over. There's not a magic formula. It's just the people business. People want to work with people that they like and that they trust and that they know, you know, and the relationships are solid. You know, that's really important. And they know that they have their best interest at heart, right? I want to work with somebody that knows that they're looking out for me personally, right? And so that does not matter how many years you've had it. But what I'm looking for when I'm looking for a real estate agent, I want to see grit. I want to see determination. I want to see commitment, you know, and the question that's always asked, are you committed or are you interested? And I sure as heck know what you are. You're definitely not just interested. You're truly committed. And so I think you can inspire a lot of people out there. You've got your heart is in the right place. You know, it's not just about, yes, we have to do this to make $1 to pay, you know, and help our families. But when you approach it with just trying to make a difference and help another, good things will happen. So congratulations on all your success and where it's about to come. So,
you know what I learned?
What did you learn?
She's not impressed with her performance. While it is very important, very impressive what you've done, you don't seem very impressed by it. That's kind of interesting.
Interesting. Yeah. Well, I'm impressed by it.
Because her bar is really high, I
Right.
think. You know, she knows she's not where she's going to be.
Right.
I think that's cool. I think it's really cool.
Yeah.
I just honestly love what I do. I love helping the community and being able to explain to them everything that I have to offer, the value that I bring to them, you know, and it's a passion to me. I don't really see the number. I don't see like, well, this is how much I've done. It's more, this is how much I've helped, you know, and now I have a new home buyer in their new home, the American dream.
It's amazing,
You know?
isn't it? Doesn't it give you goosebumps?
Yes.
It does. Every time it happens to me every time. I love it. I think it's a huge win. And I think you're right. I think that we always want to raise the bar and help as many families as we can, right? I think in this business, as a fierce female, we can do that. And I think I'm excited for you and what's to come for sure.
Marbelin, thank you so much for coming on the show today with us. We appreciate it so much. You know, I know that it was kind of unusual for me to bring somebody that's brand new to the, into the industry, but I think you have such an important story to tell. And I think your story is going to encourage a lot of people that they too can, sell the kind of homes that you are. They just continue to stay focused on the things that matter most, to be the person inside that has that conviction, believing in you first, so they will believe in you. Mm-hmm. You've got to believe in you first before that message ever matters. They've got to believe in you next before that message ever matters. Mm-hmm. And then as you continue to develop your expertise, I mean, that's what I love about this industry. One of the things I love about this industry, I have a high school education, but the market doesn't care about that. It doesn't care if I've got all the degrees in the world. It cares about who's the next person I can love and take care of and serve in one of the most important aspects of life, and that is home ownership.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
There's just one thing before we finish. Sorry.
Yeah,
that I have
absolutely.
here. Okay. So it's a dream written down with a date becomes a goal. A goal broken down into steps becomes a plan. A plan backed by action makes your dream come true.
Wow.
And
Plan by action, yes.
Yes, and that's something that I wanted to share. And stay humble, and no matter where you go, always wear a smile, because you never know who's looking at you. Okay, and that's something that I've learned, and I've also gotten referrals just by a simple smile.
It's the best accessory, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It really is. And staying positive. There's this, COVID's taught us, that's all we have is positivity. COVID's coming in to try to turn that around, right? And so the people will rise above the more that we're positive. And great job.
Thank you.
Great job. Thank you again for being with us. Such a pleasure. So many people have been inspired today. I get excited every time I'm around you because I'm like, go girl, I'm going to do it too. I love it.
Thank you for having me.
Fierce is your middle name. So thank you so much. And thank you everybody for joining us. We so appreciate all of our listeners. Come back next week for the talk of Music City Real Estate.